The Titans, the last team up here today, as we'll roll right into it. And the market agrees with me based off that number on the bottom of your screen right now, plus 450 on Tennessee to make the playoffs. They had a bizarre offseason, where again, maybe it ran its course. We're not in the locker room, obviously, Alex, but firing Mike Vrabel felt like a weird to potentially desperate move from Tennessee ownership. I still, even though Vrabel's without a job this year, again, I still think Vrabel's the quality of a top 10 coach in the NFL. I expect him to be back next year, especially if some of these playoff projected teams underachieve. Jacksonville might not be a bad landing spot for him if they miss the playoffs yet again, actually. But then they go out, hire Brian Callahan again. His dad, Bill, of course, is head coach with the Raiders when they made the Super Bowl in the early 2000s, one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL. He followed his son, Brian, from Cleveland now to Tennessee. Of course, Brian Callahan was the offensive coordinator with the Bengals,
right?
With Burrow and company under Zach Taylor. But then Tennessee went out and made some moves that you would have expected out of teams that thought they were really close to realistically competing. Yeah, they lose Derrick Henry. We knew that was going to happen. We mentioned Danico Autry earlier. They lose Christian Fulton and some other secondary pieces as well. But they replace it with L'Jarius Sneed, who was the best piece in Kansas City secondary in a trade. They pay Calvin Ridley a ton of money to come over from Jacksonville. The Tony Pollard signing, all right, whatever. It doesn't really move the needle for me. And then Awuzie comes over from Cincinnati in that secondary. I don't know. I don't know what. It was a very perplexing offseason for a team that I don't think is particularly close. And big reason I don't think they're particularly close is I'm not buying Will Levis. We saw some good things from Will Levis last year. Arm strength's really good.
Right.
He's not afraid to put his body on the line. He's not afraid to take chances. But I think he's a turnover machine. And in a division where the rest of their talent is significant, even with the addition, still the weakest talent team. And I thought part of the reason that getting rid of Vrabel was so crazy was he always got a little bit extra out of those teams with limited quarterback play or limited talent. I don't know. 6.5 on a win total feels right for me on Tennessee. If anything, I'd look to that juiced under on the Titans here, Alex.
It really feels like their additions and subtractions were more just for show rather than actually addressing spots that they need,
Can't
right?
argue with that.
I mean, they have DeAndre Hopkins, and then they bring in Calvin Ridley. I think they will be good together, but I don't know if that was the piece they needed right away. And then, of course, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard kind of switched them in. I do think Tony Pollard is pretty high up there in top running backs in the league. But, yeah, I have them as bottom 3 right now in the league for this year going into it. So I definitely don't think this is a year that they're going to be able to compete for this division. And if anything, I would only look at the under for their win totals, even at 6.5.
Sean, you can throw the schedule up there for Tennessee. I will say there is a path to at least starting okay. Now, you may say, what are you talking about? They're an underdog week 1 against the Bears. You're going to be an underdog in those 2 home games against the Jets and the Packers. This goes under the category of a team that's not any good that doesn't know they're not any good yet, more so than anything. And the Jets are coming off a short week, week 2, Green Bay. Again, will be coming off a game against Indianapolis in week 2. More likely than not, they start 0-4, Tennessee. More likely than not, they start 0-4. But, look, if they somehow steal 2, where, look, you don't know what you're getting out of a rookie quarterback in week 1. Caleb Williams could play poorly, and the Bears could lose that game at home. I'm not saying they will, but they could. And then split 2 home games against 2 teams that a lot of people have projected for the postseason this year. Not impossible. It's the NFL. Happens all the time. So this may be one of those, if Tennessee gets out to a better than expected start, which quite frankly would mean 2-2, which may be a lot to ask.
I'm not banking on that.
Come under. Is what I'm saying, Alex White.
I'm not. I would rather take the.
You'd rather just go to 6.5 right away.
I don't see them winning. Yeah, 1 out of the first 5, maybe even. You throw in the Colts and.
Well, it only gets harder the next 2 weeks after that.
That's right, the Bills and the Lions. So, I'm just that would concern me that you won't end up getting a better number, which is okay. And then that bet just passes and you find a better one. But I think 6.5 is a pretty good number right now. the juice, though. That might be what's kind of throwing you off. I don't think teams will take them lightly, that's for sure. I mean, they've always been a very good defensive team. Then they had Snead, of course, so they have the best safeties and cornerbacks in the division, at least. And then last year, they were so good in the red zone, 3rd in the red zone, 5th in opponent yards per rush, 14th in passing. So, I mean, I think that they'll be okay defensively and be able to hang in there. There's too many question marks on the offensive side and with Will Levis. So
it all comes back to the quarterback. All comes back to the quarterback for me. And for Tennessee, just wrong division at the wrong. And it's weird to say about the AFC South because what have we said for years? The division stinks. It's one of the weakest ones in the NFL, if not the weakest. This year, I don't know if it's overly strong, but all 3 of those top teams, except for these Titans, are realistic. Hey, this could be a two playoff team division because they're playing each other, because their cross games may not be the most. I mean, Indianapolis's cross games are incredible for them. They could pick up an extra 3 wins that they might not have had because of that. So this is a division where we're in agreement. This is the weakest team. This is one of the 4 teams that I don't give much of a chance of making the postseason. Hello, Denver. Hello, Las Vegas. Hello, Tennessee. And hello, one more team in the AFC East. I think we both know who I'm talking about there up in New England. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm not a buyer of Levis. This is why I don't. That's the main reason, more so than anything, why I think that under 6.5 probably still is good preseason.
he has a lot of growing to do still in this league, and hopefully they got him the right coaching staff to do that. But
we'll see. We don't know. It's an unknown. Again, first-time head coach. We don't know. We don't know if Brian Callahan's going to be amazing. We don't know if he's going to be terrible. We don't know if he's going to be mediocre. We don't know. It's the one thing, at least over the last few years, with first-time head coaches, I've just blank slate. No idea. No preconceived notions, no anything, at least on my end, when evaluating first-time head coaches.
yeah, it's too hard. I mean, unless you have Jim Harbaugh, who we have seen.
Oh, he's not a first-time head coach.
Okay,
so yeah. But first-time head coach, like guys, first-time head coach.
Yes.
Even if they're like, let's say, like a college guy came over and like not Harbaugh, but let's say like Ryan Day came over. Yeah, I would evaluate him as a first-time NFL head
Absolutely.
coach. That would just be the way that I would play it. Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff Parles.
And I'm Alex White. Thank you for watching this clip of Sports by the Book. Please like the video, comment, and subscribe.
We live stream the show right here every day on this channel. Also, you can catch the podcast version on your favorite podcast platform.
All the links are in the description below. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.